Welcome to the online certificate course on Indian Foreign Policy under Foreign Policy School, a FPRC initiative. I am Mansi Rathi, pursuing a Master's of Political Science at Mata Sundari College for Women, University of Delhi, and an intern of FPRC Online Foreign Policy School, New Delhi. We are honored to have with us today Dr. Sandeep Tripathi. He is the founder and president of Forum for Global Studies, India's multidisciplinary think tank headquartered in New Delhi. A distinguished strategic thinker, Dr. Tripathi holds a master's from the University of Allahabad and a PhD in Russia-Ukraine relations University, New Delhi. Currently, Dr. Tripathi is an assistant professor at Sharda University in Greater Noida. His research expertise focuses on India's foreign policy, Soviet, post-Soviet politics, energy and geopolitics, energy diplomacy, technology, and state. Tripathi is frequently quoted and has appeared in various Indian and international media outlets, including the Financial Express, BW, Business World, the Economic Times, Asia Net, Newsable, Sputnik News, IF, Washington DC, YON, and TV9 Network. Dr. Tripathi is a keynote speaker at major energy conferences, including the IOP conference, Russia, VP, USP, BRICS conference, University of Sao Paulo, Brazil, and IDSC, Philippines. He has been instrumental in bringing interdisciplinary approach to understanding the nuanced dynamics of national politics. His vision and leadership has been instrumental in evolving the strategic collaboration with academia and industry across the globe. We look forward to learn from your experience, sir. Now I would like to hand over the proceedings to Professor Mahendra Gaur, FPRC Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Mansi, for that welcome note. And now I would like to speak to Dr. Tripathi.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Tripathi, before we begin, I would like to welcome you and thank you for having accepted our invite to address these university students. And we hope that they will benefit by whatever you speak on the subject. This is a subject which is still going on. And I think you studied in detail a little back. But you know, who knew that this conflict will start like this and it will go on. And there seems to be no end to it. I mean, people have almost stopped taking interest. I mean, they are impatient to have a result. I mean, this way or that side. But you know, its impact on international relations, politics, energy supply, and all that is going to be terrific. So now the stage is yours, and I would like to request you to please go ahead with your address. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm thankful to you for your kind invitation as well as a kind introduction. I'm thankful for the entire your online school that I got this opportunity to deliver my lecture on this important topic, which is a very close to my research. My PhD thesis in Russian understanding Russian policy towards Ukraine. Obviously, I have some deep insights on this topic. So thank you so much again for this opportunity. So today I'll be focusing on Russia-Ukraine crisis from Indian perspective. And obviously this topic is very interesting topic just because in the month of February, when Russia and Ukraine crisis started, so the lots of questions. I think the second week, the third week of the month, the lots of questions begin to reach about the India's stand and India's position. And I think when the war started officially, when Russia launched its war, I think the month of March, the end of the March, this question has come into the fore that why there is a constant, there is a constant silence of India's position, and this constant silence and the abstaining position, it triggers debate about the India's position regarding on this issue. And we should know that the world is very, very polarized. And it is not polarized after the war. It has been polarized before the war. So the world which is highly polarized into the two camps, one is obviously led by the Western countries, EU as well as the United States. And another is, of course, Russia and China. So this question becomes important for those students and academicians and policymakers, professionals. What is India's position? And what should be? The question is, what should be India's position? So as I explained that the 2-3 months, the first phase of the war, India, maintained its silence. And the scholars started commenting on the silence. Why India is so silent. So, and after that, when the voting started, so constant 3 votings, like United Nations General Assembly, United Nations Security Council, and Human Rights Council. India has constantly abstained itself from the successive votes. And this abstention again triggers the debate. What should be India's position? Why did India abstain from this voting? That means, is India supporting Russia's stand, Russia's action, which is portrayed by the Western countries? Is Russia's act as aggression, and Ukraine is victim. So this kind of was going on, and from the NATO countries, especially the Ukraine's inclusion into the NATO. That means it is existential threat to the core security issues of the Russian. And Putin has categorically challenge. Do not show your eagerness to join NATO. So, and at the same time, Zelensky responded to this question: we are free and independent nation. We have a choice to whether we are going to join or not. On this point, I'm not going to discuss about the origin of this war and the tension, the tussle that persisted last 5 minutes. Why should India abstain? Sorry, why did India abstain? Just I'll type. My voice is not clear. Yes, I got the message. Now I'm clear. Hello. Am I clear right now? My voice is clear. So as I said that this question is India. Why did not India vote against Russia? So after 1 month, around the April and the month, India has disclosed its stand on Russian-Ukraine. And very categorically, India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, he explained India's position that let me quote to Dr. Jaishankar. Our position is not that this is not our position is that we are for peace. He reiterated in the parliamentary debate that the global order is anchored on international and the UN Charter and respect for the territorial integrity and sovereignty. This is somehow India's official position. that from the very beginning of the India appealed from the both sides. India was constant in touch with the both leadership, the Russian leadership and the Ukrainian leadership. And it was the only one country who voiced that this conflict should be resolved through the dialogue and the diplomacy. Our External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, appealed to the return of diplomacy and dialogue. This is only the mechanism that can resolve these. But at the same time, we should also concentrate what West was doing during that time. West was provoking, Ukraine. West was provoking Russia. But it was the India that was making appeal for the return of dialogue and diplomacy. And it was the very first beginning position. India said that the only solution lies in the dialogue and the diplomacy. And we categorically maintained this position. But at the same time, it was the Western, especially the United States, who emphasized, who put pressure on India's stand. Why you are supporting the Russia? India has maintained its position. We are not going to support the Russia. We are saying that both parties should come onto the table and discuss and resolve it. Russia's stand is, it is existential threat for the security issue. And this is not only the Russian stand. Let me quote John Mearsheimer, new realist thinkers. Professor John Mearsheimer on 16th June, he reiterated that NATO's eastward expansion is the core reason behind this conflict, because it attacks the core security of the Russian. So this is somehow the voice from the United States. So we should think this point. A time when the world was on the brink of the war, a time when the entire Western countries, United States, they were trying to polarize this situation. Ukraine versus Russia. India was the one country who was trying to resolve this through the talks and diplomacy, dialogue and the one. And India has maintained its position. Let me take another aspect. Another aspect is that India was the one country who talked from the, especially our Prime Minister Modi. He had a telephonic conversation with Vladimir Putin. And he had appealed for this to stop it. It was only one country across the coast. Each country was involved from this either kind or this kind. But it was the only one country who appealed for the restoring peace to the dialogue. At the same time, India's Prime Minister had a conversation with the Ukrainian president to restore the peace and to take decision as per the nation, not motivated and instigated by the Western camp. So this was the independent voice, independent stance. Let me come to the second. Let me quote on 3rd June, India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, in Slovakia, in a program, Globsec Dialogue, where he articulated India's position. He reiterated in that dialogue that India, the world is changing. The center of power is changing. And most of the countries are looking for India. And this is the illustration, like Russia and Ukraine. Both countries looking for the India. So one point that a time when the West, especially United States, putting pressure on India to take position either this camp or that camp. India categorically rejected this kind of pressure first. In this global dialogue, Dr. S. Shankar reiterated that India is the champion of the global south. Again, the United States put pressure on not to import oil from the Russia. Very categorically, Dr. S. Shankar responded to this question. This is the welfare of the Indian people. To purchase discounted oil from the Russian Federation, this is our hardcore national interest. And we cannot lose on the cost of this and that. This is our responsibility to provide a very reliable, cheap, and accessible oil. If the Russia started, why should not? This is the question. So India took a very strong independent posture on this global dialogue. India reiterated its position. We are not interested to align itself either this camp or that camp. If India imported 30 million barrel oil from the Russia just because of our need, our requirement. And our need is not directed by the United States. This is somehow the independent. And it is very, very frank. India, Dr. S. Jaishankar reiterated this position. We are not signing. We are not taking this and that approach. And it is not nuanced approach, something. India is not taking the side approach, a nuanced approach. It is very categorical approach that we are importing oil from the Russia just because of the price, low price, just because of the discounted oil. One. Second, India extended its unflinching support, humanitarian support to the Ukraine. What is this? And that is why our position, we are for peace. We have not something to supply the weapons like the best EU country as the United States to the Ukraine. So why did US put on pressure on the and India is categorically rejected this point. Let me remind you the 3-4 visits during that war. First, India's Deputy NSA, Sandeep Singh, when he visited India, his tone and tenor and tone was just like a signal. India should stop it, to import oil because it is violation of the sanction. Again, India categorically rejected this country. First. Second, India welcomed the Russian foreign minister. Even the current UK Prime Minister, Liz Truss, and then at that time foreign minister, she came here. And she also very diplomatically responded that this is India's stand. If India are importing oil just because of the India's needs. But somehow there is pressure. So India has sidelined all the pressure by this line that we are a multi-aligned country. We will align each and everywhere where we will find suitable for our nation. This is the real political approach. This is the pragmatic approach that India asserted in its foreign policy. What about the idol? That means India is what idealism. That means the moral posture of the international nations. And India pursued this moral posture by extending support as humanitarian aid to them. So in this war-torn society, in this conflict-ridden world order, global order, Dr. S. Jaishankar reiterated its stand that the world is world is no longer Eurocentric anymore. The multiple power of center has you. There is multiple problems beyond the Euro. And when in this globe's dialogue, when the question was being asked what about the China strategy? If today you are not aligned with us, what will happen tomorrow? So again, Dr. Jaishankar reiterated this statement that yes, enemy is an enemy, is a friend. This might be the classical illustrations of the Chanakya. But today's world is not like that. Today's world is very, very nuanced and complex. We may have a frozen conflict, but at the same time, there must be space for cooperation. There must be space for the continued dialogue with the deliberation. So this binary position that has been created time and again by the Western camp, India categorically rejected. The India's posture is independent. And India enjoyed this independent posture as a strategic autonomy by each and every single moment. In terms of the Russia-Ukraine war, in terms of the Afghan issue, in terms of the UK and US, in terms of the Venezuela and Iran issue. So very categorically, India's perspective about the war, because India has been a peace-loving country, and Article 51 of the Indian Constitution, it clearly demonstrates that we work for world peace and all. So this is somehow India's foreign policy is a mixture of Cotelian doctrine as well as the Mahatma Gandhian doctrine, the peace and the we reassert our position in terms of the geopolitics. We cannot compromise our interest at the cost of camp politics, at the cost of alignment. We are aligned each and every way. But at the same time, our position is to resolve the issue through the dialogue and diplomacy. So I think last 4 months, India's posture has been increased in the global order. And that is why 4 countries, top leadership, frequently visit India. Just because are very nuanced, as well as a very frank, a very overted foreign policy. So I think geopolitically, Russia has been a very time-tested, reliable, famous partner of India. So India cannot take any kind of risk at the cost of friendship with the West. At the same time, India responded to the Russia that our alignment with the US has not been against the Russia. So many times India made this position that we are the independent. We enjoy the Gandhian principle, we enjoy the Cotelian principle. We have the mixture kind of real geopolitics as well as the kind of Woodrow-Wilson idealism. We believe the self-help. We believe the capabilities of it and the expansion of the power. At the same time, we believe international law norms, as Dr. Jaishankar said, that our position is to respect territorial integrity. And territorial integrity does not mean to provoke. United States constantly provoke Russian Federation. I'm not saying. It was quoted by the John Marshall. So this is somehow the entire approach of the India's perspective. So in short, India's perspective is very clear. India adopted a very humanitarian and realistic pragmatic approach